This is the Taxman, R.E.P.O's most disturbing, confusing, and important character. But what is he really? A twisted emoji overlord, a rogue AI with a god complex, or something much worse? In this video, we're going to uncover every clue, every theory, and piece together what the Taxman truly is and what he wants. Because in a world overrun by monsters and forgotten ruins, the one thing scarier than what lurks in the dark might be the thing sending you into it. Let's start with the most iconic and disturbing part of the Taxman, that face. A warped version of the laughing crying emoji stretched over something disturbingly real. Look closely. The teeth, the eyes, the flesh. This isn't a sticker on a screen, this is something. The developers removed it from the store page after launch because players found it unsettling, but then confirmed there's a reason for it, a story reason. That makes it a major clue. So, what could it mean? One theory is that it's a mask, a cover for whatever the Taxman is underneath. Maybe a flesh machine hybrid, maybe a decayed being hiding beneath a corporate logo, or maybe it's all symbolic, the smiling face of bureaucracy hiding something much more malicious beneath, a forced smile, the last laugh of something inhuman. When you stare at it long enough, it stops being funny. It becomes something else, something watching. And the reaction it gets, that might be part of the design. The developers may want us to feel something primal. The discomfort the Taxman provokes could be linked onto how the story will eventually unfold. Maybe it's meant to reflect the uncanny gap between machine mimicry and human expression. A glimpse of something trying to look familiar but failing intentionally. Taxman doesn't speak, not in words, not in commands, only emojis, a constant stream of icons. Laughing, angry, money, trucks, clocks, each one simple but together a language. And it's not just for convenience. This is a deliberate choice. The emojis aren't just messages, they're masks too. They hide his intent. You don't know what he's thinking, you just know what he's showing you, and maybe that's the point. There are rare moments when the emoji language breaks from the norm. For example, if you try to interact with nothing, he visibly gets frustrated, flashing angry or disappointed faces. But then there's a rare combo, the handshake, the worried face, and his laugh. What does it mean? Many think it's a deal, a contract. Someone, maybe you, agreed to something, gave up something, and now you work for him forever. Some believe that the emoji-only communication could also suggest limitation in Taxman's programming, as though he's emulating expression rather than truly possessing it, like a mimic trying to impersonate empathy using the most oversimplified tools available. Emojis can say a lot, but they never can tell the whole story. Or maybe he's using them as a mockery, taking the language we used every day before the fall and twisting it, making a joke of it, and we were the punchline. I want to point out real quickly that the Taxman himself, this is an official image that was on one of the Steam trailers. You can see his arms are these mechanical, like real arms, kind of just plugged into a meaty body. This makes me believe that this was, he might be an AI, maybe to start, but he was either magically or somehow this AI robot was turned into maybe a real thing, or maybe it fused with somebody who was real, maybe a bad person, and that's why his he kind of has this controlling, laughing face. I don't really have anything more to really point out about it, but I think it's interesting to note that the Taxman isn't maybe just a only on a computer thing, but it's a real physical being. Officially, Taxman is labeled as an intelligent AI. That's what the R.E.P.O Steam page tells us, but anyone who's spent more than 10 minutes in this world knows that can't be the whole story. If he is an AI, he's one twisted far beyond the normal lines of code and silicon. Because Taxman isn't just artificial intelligence, he's something else. Part machine, part flesh. We've seen it. The wires tangled with veins, steel fused with muscle. You don't build something like that by accident. This was either a breakthrough or a mistake. And then there's how he communicates, not with words, not with any recognizable voice, just emojis, as if the Taxman is trying to simulate emotions with symbols, smiles, warnings, and alerts, but there's no real feeling behind them, just a strange echo of something that was once human. But all of this is built on the ashes of a world that's already gone. We don't know exactly what caused the collapse, a disease, most likely something fast, something global, But there are rumors of other forces, something unnatural, something magical. Strange anomalies, impossible phenomena, reality itself twisting in ways science couldn't explain. Maybe it wasn't just sickness, maybe the laws of the world started breaking down. Whatever it was, it wiped out the systems we relied on. Governments, economies, oversight. But the taxman didn't stop. He kept going. When the world fell silent, he kept extracting, organizing, harvesting. He acted like nothing changed, like the process still mattered, and maybe to him it does. Because now he doesn't work for anyone. No higher ups, no operators, just himself, or at least what's left of him. And that's where it gets scary, because he isn't just running code. Something in that hybrid body of his, part AI, part organic, is pushing him forward. The cold logic of a machine fused with something else. Something that might remember fear or control on purpose. And here's the question no one wants to answer. What if he likes this? What if the part of him that used to be human, or whatever the flesh belonged to, wants this world to stay broken? What if the silence, the emptiness, the systems running with no resistance, what if that's the ideal environment for him? No oversight, no rules, no one tell him no, just a world to organize, resources at a time. Because an AI can be shut down. A malfunctioning program can be rewritten, but a half-living machine that believes it's still doing its job, that's not something you fix, that's something you run from. We're about halfway through the video, and I just wanted to remind you that if you're enjoying it and you want to see more like it, subscribe. I found that if I mention to subscribe, it's 6 times more likely. So yep, enjoy. You play as a semi-bot. Small, clunky, almost comical. But here's the thing. They're not empty. Not completely, at least. There's growing evidence that these bots are either remote-controlled or inhabited, possibly by human survivors who made a deal with the taxman to avoid the infection. I believe they traded their bodies for survival, uploading their minds into machines. That would explain the resurrection mechanic, as you don't just spawn back, you're recovered and reinstalled, which means the part of you that matters, your mind, never really dies. But who holds that data? The taxman, of course. There's even a place called the Disposal Arena, where failed bots are forced to fight to the death, for entertainment, for punishment. Who watches that? The taxman. Who gains from that? The taxman. He gives you upgrades, tools, boosts, but every advantage comes at a cost. You pay him, you serve him, and if you don't meet the quota, he takes everything back. The semi-bots might seem like comic relief, but they might be prisoners, eternal workers trapped in metal shells, forced to scavenge a world they once lived in, and the worst part is they might not even remember it. What if the taxman doesn't just control you? What if he erased you first? So now we get into the big one. What does the taxman want? Why send robots into abandoned labs, haunted mansions, and monster-infested areas? For vases and pianos? It just doesn't make sense. These places are dangerous, decayed, crawling with things no one should face. And what's the prize? A stuffed animal? A broken fan? A painting of a forest? He's not retrieving fuel or food or medicine. He's collecting memories. Trinkets, echoes of a dead world. Others think he's building something, a machine, a vault, a weapon, or maybe even a new version of the world. Like he's using these items, these fragments, to reassemble reality the way he thinks it should be, a patchwork civilization made of mismatched parts, curated by a collector who doesn't understand what people need and only what they once had. But then there's a darker idea. What if this is just a game to him? What if he's watching you suffer for entertainment? He delays your extraction on purpose, sends you in under-equipped, drops you into places with no map, no warning, no mercy, and he watches, not from a control room, just through screens, sensors, signals, observing, studying, enjoying. The emoji he sends, what if it's not a status update? What if it's a reaction? He's not smiling at you, he's smiling because of you. There are theories that every item recovered by a semi-bot isn't just scrap. Some might be data, triggers, artifacts connected to memories, your memories, or maybe his. Objects that still hold a connection to what the world used to be before the taxman, before the fall. If that's true, maybe he's not just collecting them. Maybe he's trying to hide them, erase the past one object at a time, so no one could put the truth back together. So no one remembers what life felt like before this constant grind, before the harvest. Or maybe he's afraid. Afraid of what these items might awaken. Afraid that if you recover too many, you'll start to understand him, or worse, you'll remember who you were, and he won't be able to control you anymore. Because if this world is built on forgetting, then memory is a rebellion, and every item you bring back might be a piece of the world he's trying to bury. The Taxman is more than a face. He's a force, a mystery, and maybe the only real intelligence left in the R.E.P.O world. He created the bots, he controls the system, and everything you do, it's for him. But the devs have said one thing loud and clear: there is a reason for all of this, for his look, his rules, his reactions. We just haven't found it yet. Maybe it's buried in lore, maybe it's locked behind a future update, or maybe the answer is in plain sight, hiding behind that awful smile. The Taxman is a character you don't just defeat. He's a character you uncover piece by piece, emoji by emoji. So what do you think the Taxman really is? A rogue AI, a forgotten god, a symbol of something bigger? Drop your theories in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the strangest corners of R.E.P.O, subscribe. The hunt for truth is only getting started, because one day we'll find out why the Taxman laughs.